What's up YouTube, VST here, Venus Tech, and this time I'm going to share with you my opinion after using the Galaxy Z Flip for more than 1 month. All the pros, all the cons, and why the Flip Z4 managed to become my daily driver and replace the S22 Ultra. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe, buckle up, and let's start. So this right there is the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. And of course, and I think it's most obvious, the form factor, guys. The moment I got this phone in my hand, the moment I saw this phone, I just flipped it aside and I was thinking, this is a real use case for me. Alright, so of course I bought this phone to just test it and to compare it with the S22 Ultra, and I never really had the intention to just switch to this as a main driver. But you know, day by day I really start falling in love with this phone, and the form factor is perhaps one of the biggest things. For those of you that don't know, yes, this is a phone that flips aside, right? And now this is the full size of the phone, and that's another very important thing, guys. When the phone is unflipped, right, the sheer size of it is very usable for me. It is a very tall phone, but still very narrow, and it's very easy to hold in one hand. And don't get me wrong, guys, I have big hands, so the S22 Ultra is not so problematic for me, but this thing here is so much more useful for me. You just get it in your hand like this, and it really feels like a normal phone. And this thing that a lot of people are bothered with, the so-called crevice, yes, it's there, it exists, but guys, after using this for a while, you just stop noticing. You know it's there, right? But it's just like the notch, right? Everybody with notches, we all know they're there, but we just get used to this. So the first big pros of this phone is apparently the form factor. The second big pros is the fact that the phone really is a rather small phone. So it's a tall phone, right? Still narrow, and it's very easy to use in the hand. So you end up using this phone and the display is actually not that bad at all. This was of course one of my main concerns after coming from the S22 Ultra. I was just thinking, yeah, will this be really good enough for me to just switch to this phone? Because we know that the S22 Ultra is probably one of the best displays in the world. I'm just not sure about the iPhone 14 Pro, which might be a bit brighter, but hey, the Z Flip's 4 screen is not that bad at all. It has 120 Hz and it does come only with FHD+. But after 1 month, guys, I'm starting to question the WQHD in a such small screen factor as even the S22 Ultra is. So what is the sense, guys, here, right? Of course, you probably could notice a difference from FHD+ to WQHD, but this is a very capable display, and with the 120 Hz refresh rate, it is absolutely stunning. And I can tell you, just by using this phone, you will not really feel as you're using a subpar product. And now let's speak about the camera, guys. The first flip phones were bad, the battery was bad, also of course the camera was bad. So they were just able to take some pictures, but they were really far away, let's say, from the main S series. Now Z Flip 4 and Z Fold 4 are a different story. Here we do have a 12 megapixel sensor, and the pictures that you can take with this phone are nothing less but, I would say, very much okay. And also they are very much the same compared to the S22 Ultra. Of course, you will not have the nice things like 3x optical zoom and 10x optical zoom, but you can still do 4K 60 video with almost all cameras besides the one that is the ultra wide, and the camera is actually very satisfying. So the camera is also among one of the main things I can count as a benefit while using the Z Flip 4. Now let's talk about the battery, guys, because battery is something very important. Battery life is really, the juice, we all need it. And the thing with the Flip is that although having a smaller battery compared to the battery in the S22 Ultra, it can really still give you nice juice for almost a whole day. Now guys, let me just specify what do I mean by whole day, because I have my own definitions for battery life. Everything that can get me around 4 hours screen on time, I think it's okay. Of course, with mixed usage, mixed I do mean Wi-Fi and also mobile data connection like LTE or 5G. So of course, if I can get more than 4 hours, yeah, that's more than welcome. If I get less than 4 hours, that's a bit problematic for me. But guys, using the Flip really is giving me enough of juice, and I can compare it to the same battery life that the Ultra has with the massive 5 mAh of battery. So battery life is greatly improved, and the camera is also greatly improved compared to the previous generation. Now let's talk about the perks. Apparently there is this thing called the flex mode where you can just use, this here as a mouse pad. And then of course guys, there is this external display, so you can just put your viewfinder on the external display and try to use it. Honestly, I was thinking maybe I can use this as a real use case where I just put the phone like this and then try to shoot myself. I never actually get to use that one, but it's there and I know it's there, right? So it's satisfying to know that something exists. I can also try to show you guys some more from the flex mode. So if I enter, for example, Telegram and I just put the phone like this, guys, it will become here as a flex mode. So this is going to operate as a mouse pad, and I'm gonna have here this mouse tracker. Honestly, yeah, this is probably a bit of a gimmicky thing and I never actually get to use it, but it's there, so you're definitely gonna get some perks, from the thing that the phone is actually flippable. Right? Another thing that I see, guys, as a perk is this button here. And don't get me wrong, guys, this is not just a power button. This doubles also as a fingerprint unlock. Performance of this phone is quite great as it's powered by the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen, and compared to the Exynos 2100, I will only say this is definitely better. Everything seems to be a bit more smooth, more stutterless, and it just feels more like a premium device. The S22 Ultra, quite on the contrary with the Exynos 2100, lags sometimes, and this really drives me crazy. Gaming is not a problem, performance is quite okay, and now I can switch to the negative sides of it. Now, because of this form factor, guys, I noticed some things that I'm not quite okay with. One thing that particularly annoys me is the fact that when I'm shooting 4K 60 video with the Z Flip 4, it drops frames, skips frames, and I just do believe that this is connected with the heating and the cooling, guys. So I'm not sure if the phone overheats, not probably like Xiaomi phones, but still the performance when I record 4K 60 video is not the one that I expected. And of course I'm recording HVAC because of course I have to just save on my storage, and this is one of the main things that I don't like about the Flip. I'm now just trying to invent some more negatives, guys, but you know what, there aren't many, guys. So there are not really a lot of drawbacks that I can tell you about the Flip, besides the fact that when I'm using UHD 60, yeah, it skips frames. And probably the other major drawback, guys, is when the phone is like this, it's very hard for someone to just open it with one hand. Of course I tried, I found a way, but this gives me the chills because every time I do like this I have a feeling that I'm gonna drop the phone. So only these two, it's really a perfect phone. And probably another negative part is the price. Of course it's a very expensive phone, but if you can buy it like me with a 2 years contract, then maybe you can get it off on a good price. But else, guys, this phone really made me ditch my S22 Ultra as my main daily driver. And I guess one of the things is that you just flip it like this, guys, and then you just put it in your pocket, boom. And you see here, guys, the size of the phone in the pocket, it's really priceless. Like, I almost sometimes forget that I'm carrying a phone. And every time, because I'm just playing a lot with my S22 Ultra as well, testing One UI 5, every time I have the Ultra in my pocket, I sure know it's there. It's really huge, right? So again, this here is the best benefit, right? You just flip it into, you forget about this, and when you unflip it, you just get a very decent phone, very good camera, I would say, nice battery in terms of life, and I would say also very, very nice performance. So honestly, I cannot think about many downsides of the Z Flip 4, and I'm not telling you that's the best phone of the market, but for sure that's probably one of the best flippable phones. They're not really quite so many, right? But this probably is one of the best. And if you like videos like this, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and every time I do upload a new video, you know how it works, you're gonna get notified. Thank you for watching, guys. Please, you and your families, stay safe. And with that said, VST over and bye.